Hello Internet, welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I almost said The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, but that's not what we're playing today, is it? Between videos, I went ahead and checked up on those berry trees a couple more times, so we now have 7 Pecha and Oran berries. Each time I replanted them, I was getting 4 back, checking just 24 hours later. I also went ahead and got us our 10 heal balls from Pokemon Link, as well as our 10 Pokeballs, so yeah, that's pretty good. In the last episode, we made it here to Petalburg City after exploring everything we could do with the Dex Nav and exploring all of routes 101, 102, and 103. This time, we're going to be exploring the city itself, but first, I want to at least see if our berries have already... They have been regrown. I'm not going to have time at this time tomorrow to check on them, so I am still just going to check on them again at like 9 p.m. tonight like I have been doing. Yeah. Anyway. Not bad. It was a good battle. Thank you, sir. Come back and challenge me again anytime. I'll be looking forward to seeing you and your Pokemon again when you're a bit stronger. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I'm gonna do special training with my Pokemon. Then I'll challenge this gym again. Thank you for the battle, Mr. Norman. Why, if it is an aura? So, you finished moving in? I see. Well, I guess we shouldn't stand around out here talking. Do you want to come in for a bit? We can talk in the gym. You know, I sure was surprised that you managed to get here by yourself. Ah, I see. You're making a good start on your team. Well, I don't know how to explain to you that only one of these is a permanent team member, Dad. Then I guess you're going to become a trainer like me, Aura? Now that's something to look forward to. Excuse me. I'd like to get a Pokemon, please. Aren't you... You're Wally, right? Yes. I'm supposed to go stay with my relatives in Verdanturf Town for a while. But I thought I might be lonely by myself, so I wanted to bring a Pokemon with me. But I've never caught a Pokemon by myself. I'm not sure if I can. I see. Aura, you heard all that, right? You go with Wally and make sure he safely catches a Pokemon. Wally, here. I'll lend you one of my Pokemon. Wally receives Zigzagoon. Oh, wow. Your Pokemon, sir? I'll give you a Pokeball too, so go give it your best. Thank you, Mr. Norman. Aura, you will come with me, right? Aura, Pokemon hide in tall grass like this, don't they? Please stay there and watch to see if I can catch one properly. Whoa! Yeah, of course you find the 4% encounter on your first try. This is the catching tutorial. Wally is going to be trying to catch a Ralts here. Unfortunately, in this version of the game, this Ralts is shiny locked. However, in the original Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, it isn't. So he can encounter a shiny Ralts. It's also possible that its defense IVs are so low and his Zigzagoons are so high that it just knocks out Ralts in one hit. And then he won't be able to catch it, but the cutscene afterwards will just pretend he did. There's more interest into this catching tutorial in the original games than in this remake. He read in a book that he's supposed to throw a Pokeball. That is how it works. He learns fast, this guy. One, 2, 3. And he caught it. Of course he did. I did it. It's my own Pokemon. Thanks so much, Aura. Let's head back to the gym. So, did it go well? Yes, it did. Thank you. Let me give you back your Pokémon, sir. And you, Aura. Thank you so much for coming with me. It was all thanks to you, too, that I was able to catch Ralts. My very own Ralts. I will always, always treasure it. Oh, I know. It's not much of a thank you, but, Aura? Will you let me see your Pokénav Plus for a second? Okay, that, and, there. Wally updated Aura's Pokénav Plus. You can now use the PlayNav features on your Pokénav Plus. I read in a book that you can use the PlayNav to take care of your Pokemon and train them. And there's even supposed to be this thing called the PSS where you can meet up with other trainers and battle friends and more. I've wanted to have my own Pokemon for so long, and do all those kind of things together. So I've had all these kinds of apps installed on my Pokénav Plus for ages. Embarrassing, huh? I'm going to try my best together with Ralts. You do your best too, Aura. Oh, but my mom's waiting for me. I've got to get going. I hope we'll meet again, Aura. And you too, Mr. Norman. That boy will be worth keeping an eye on. But for now, Aura, if you want to become strong as a trainer, listen to my advice. First, head for Rustboro City, which lies beyond this town. There you should challenge the gym leader, Roxanne. After her, go on to the other Pokemon gyms and defeat their leaders as well. Collect badges from them, understand? Of course, I'm a gym leader too. I'm sure we'll battle one day. But that will only be after you've become stronger, Aura. Weren't you going to go to the Pokemon gym in Rustboro? Sorry, but I don't get pleasure from battling Greenhorn trainers. There's no challenge. I want you to grow much stronger before I would consider taking you on in battle. Come back when you've got at least, 4 rubies. Come back when you're a little, richer. 4 badges. Then I'll take you on, Aura. Yeah, Dad is not going to beat us to a pulp here. Before we talk about the PlayNav that Wally just gave us, I want to come to Norman's defense real quick. So there's like this popular like joke in the Pokemon community how Norman is like a deadbeat dad who ran out on the family and all that. He's not! The protagonist and their family moved to Hoenn from Olivine City, specifically because Norman was offered a position as the gym leader of Petalburg City, Olivine being a city in Johto. This is canon. Pokemon Black 2 and White 2 specifically state that Norman is from Olivine and moved to Hoenn. He spends all this time at the gym because he has to for the game, but also because as a kid, that's sort of what it feels like when you have a parent who's at work when you're home. I know when I was a kid, I only ever really saw my mom at home during the day. Dad and my stepdad worked until later, so I did get to see them less than Mom. I think people really overblow Norman's deadbeathood. He just commutes to Petalburg from Littleroot and had to work the day his family arrived in town. By the time he's able to return home, seemingly off-screen, you're already off on your adventure. It's not that serious. Of course, no offense to people who, like, relate to this protagonist and this story specifically because Norman doesn't spend a lot of time at home. I know in my video celebrating Pokemon Day a few years ago, Aiden talked a lot about that and how Dad not being really around was a big part of what made this game so important to them, and I don't want to lessen that at all because Dad is around less. It's just, like, the deadbeat jokes are played up a little more than they should be, I think, because he's just a guy with a job. Anyway, before we go over the PlayNav once again, we have a city to explore. I just sort of wandered into the cutscene there by accident, so let's talk to everybody here. Now, lads, let's say you have 6 Pokemon in your team. Okay, one sec. Now, lads, let's say you have 6 Pokemon in your team, and then you catch another one. Do you know what happens? It's automatically sent to a storage box over the PC network. He got more Scottish as the sentence progressed. You can't start a sentence with "lass" and expect me not to give you either a Scottish or Irish accent. I'm sorry. Alright. Pokemart here. Even if a Pokemon is weak now, it'll grow stronger if you raise it. The most important thing is love. Love for your Pokemon. Do you use Repel? I have one. I haven't used it yet. Do you have any antidotes on you? If a Pokemon is poisoned, it will steadily lose HP when battling. To make matters worse, the poison won't disappear after the battle either. I recommend you bring some antidotes. Yeah, we probably have some. We have pickup. This Pokemart is the first where we are going to be able to buy antidotes, and I do not need to buy 10. 3 will probably be enough. You pick these up constantly, just having Pokemon with pickup, and also, like, this is one of those items that they just love to put on the overworld all the time. I don't know, you're not going to be hurting for antidotes at all. Don't worry about it. We also have Pecha Berries, which are just renewable antidotes for free. And we have 4 more right here. Should also show you, if you go to the area nav, you can see an icon up on the top right of the screen that shows that there are berries here. That's going to be helpful as I'm going through every day and, like, replanting and picking berries, just so I know what routes I have actually planted berries on. Anyway, back to Petalburg. We haven't actually talked to anybody inside the Pokemon Center. I just healed here. Hello? When I found my Pokemon Order Berry, regain HP. Cool. Hello there, trainer. You've got a wonderful smile. If you can use the Play Nav on your Pokénav Plus, I recommend that you renew your profile. We'll get there, man. There are many types of Pokemon. All types have their strengths and weaknesses against other types. Some battles will be easier or harder based on the types of your Pokemon. For example, your Trico is a grass type. It's strong against water and ground types, but it's weak against fire types. It's strong against more than water and ground types, so I wonder why you bothered listing 2 when you could have just gone with the basic triangle. That PC-based Pokemon storage system. Whoever made it must be some kind of scientific wizard. No, it's just Bill Gates. Alright. There's no items to get in this town, so it's not particularly worthwhile to talk to everybody, but I'm still going to because I'm me. Our city's new gym leader is a man called Norman. I heard he moved his whole family here from the Johto region. Well, there you go. Yeah. I battled Norman once, but he was way too strong. Whew, how should I put it? I just really got the feeling that he lives for Pokemon. Yeah. So they even have a house to explain that you're from the Johto region. This kid, I remember him having some weird, like, off-putting dialogue last time I played the original Ruby and Sapphire, so let's see. My face is reflected in the water. It's a shining grin full of hope. Or maybe it's the look of somber silence struggling with fear. What do you see in your face? I don't know, it's a little too low resolution to tell, but yeah, he does still have that haunting dialogue, I remember. I wish I could go on an adventure with Pokemon. Crawl through some damp grass, climb rocky, rugged mountains, cross the raging seas, wander about in dark caves, and sometimes get a little homesick. It must be fabulous to travel. Grandpa, you scare the hell out of me in the corner there. That does sound nice.
Ah, a journey is a wonderful thing. When I was young, I also roamed across the seas and the mountains.
I have really been craving making a Pokemon Let's Play again, I think. I do love just how much Let's Plays of this series really do just feel like a journey, and I always really, really, really enjoy these when I make them, so I'm in it for the long run. I'm ready to have, like, a good time.
You. Ah, you're Aura, aren't you?
Thank you for helping our Wally out back there. That boy has been sickly since the time he was born, I'm afraid. That's why we decided to send him to stay with my brother's family in Verdanturf Town for a while. The air is far cleaner there than it is around these parts. Oh, you're looking for Wally? I'm sorry, young lady, but I'm afraid he's already left. I wonder where he is right this moment. Wally was so happy when he told us that he'd caught a Pokemon. It's been ages since I've seen him smile like that. Can't read any of the books that I see on tables, and it always makes me sad. Head upstairs, we can see Wally's room. It's very similar to ours, just laid out slightly differently. Hoenn Region town map is still here with many notes about the Pokemon that inhabit the area surrounding Petalburg. A set of Pokemon picture books. Notebook lying on top of the desk that someone has written and erased in it over and over again. Pins stuck in places in the Kalos region and the Unova region. An empty trash can. Pokemon picture book. He has a lot of those. Books about raising Pokemon and Pokemon battles. Every book is covered in sticky notes. You can get like a really good sense of how much Wally has wanted to be a trainer, and he just wasn't able to because he was sickly and stuck at home all the time. And yeah, I think this room adds a lot to the character of Wally that the original game sort of just left up to your interpretation. Wally is sort of one of the better characters in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. He doesn't show up a whole lot, but we will be seeing him again, and yeah, I like him a lot, and I'm glad they like actually gave him like a whole room to show you how much he's wanted this. Yeah. Anyway, we could move on to Route 104 now and continue our journey. As you can see, we're just freely able to come out here. But Wally just gave us the play nav, which means we have a ton of stuff to go over. And you know me, I kind of just like to go over some of this stuff as soon as it's available. So, like, you know, this game became available before Route 104, technically, and yeah. The Play Nav is an app with 3 more apps. This is basically the way they shoved all the bottom screen mechanics from X and Y into Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. We've got 3 options: the Player Search System, or PSS, Pokemon Me, and Super Training. Starting with the Player Search System, since it's by far the least complex, but we do still have to watch this. The Player Search System, also known as the PSS, use the PSS to trade and battle with players nearby as well as anyone on the internet. You can battle with anyone connected to the PSS whenever you like. You can set up battles so that Pokemon levels are equal, or you can set a handicap against stronger players. Connecting to the internet is easy. Just use the button on the top right of the PSS screen. GTS and Wonder Trade may help you reach your dream of collecting Pokemon from all over the world. Well, someday it might work like that again. So, we have friends, acquaintances, and passersby. Yeah. So, there is some complexity to all of these, but this is probably the least so. The PSS is Generation 6's version of the C Gear. Using it, we can access the GTS, Wonder Trade, O-Powers, multiplayer battles, and more. Friends, acquaintances, and passersby are listed on the bottom screen, and there can be a maximum of 100 in each category. Passersby are people who are nearby you, or 100 randomly selected players from around the world if you're connected to the internet. Acquaintances are people you've battled or traded with, including Wonder Trades, and friends are people on your 3DS friends list. After trading or battling an acquaintance, a prompt to add them to the friend group also appears. This is easily the best system this series has ever had as far as organizing multiplayer goes. So, of course, come Sun and Moon, they replaced it with the clunkiest and least intuitive mechanic possible. Sorry, I hate the Festival Plaza. I will always be its biggest hater. Anyway, let's go one by one talking about each of the mechanics on the PSS. Starting with the local stuff because it's easier to showcase. First, battling and trading. Those are the top 2 options. These settings are simply to have battles and trades with people close to you using local multiplayer. There is nothing more to it than that. I'll be showcasing both of these at some point in the Let's Play, or at least the trading, but we'll get to it later. For now, just know that it is here if you want to do it. Shoutouts. Tell everyone you're feeling happy. These are messages sent to everyone connected to your game, whether they're a friend or someone who happened to be connected to the internet at the same time as you. They're also displayed before a Wonder Trade as your message, but there's not much more to it than that. What do I say when I'm happy? I'm happy. You told everyone, I'm happy. Cool. Next up, the Holocaster. Well, look at that. The Holocaster is a Generation 6 incarnation of the Cross Transceiver, which consists of a hologram instead of a screen. NPCs use this to contact you during the main story of X and Y, but in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, it is locked to just the PSS. It will update you on recent street passes and upcoming events and competitions. All those upcoming events and competitions for Generation 6, you know, it updates periodically using Street Pass or manually using an internet connection and Spot Pass, which isn't possible anymore. But I can still activate Spot Pass, presumably. Yeah, look at that. When you receive Holocaster data, an update indicator will appear on the icon for the software in the home menu. If you see the update indicator, open the Holocaster to check for new content. As you can see, well, that's sure not happening. Yeah, you're unlikely to ever actually get anything on this. Even using Nintendo, these games are not fully supported even for playtesters yet, so don't get your hopes up on that. Did I say Nintendo? That is not the name of the thing for this. Pretendo is what I meant. Check announcements. There are no announcements. Update. You can try to connect to the internet, but it's not going to work. Basically, the Holocaster is useless now. You'll never have a reason to press this button. There is one interesting thing I can say about the Holocaster. It is that one of the Kalos Elite Four technically appeared in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire due to the Holocaster, because Malva was the person who would actually read the announcements on it. But yeah, that's all. There's really, like, nothing else to this. Lastly, and this is the big one, O-Power. These are very similar to Pass Powers from Generation 5. They're temporary bonus effects that help you out in one way or another. We start with a few, specifically Capture, HP Restoring, Attack, Defense, Special Attack, and Special Defense Power. But we'll have to unlock more. Yeah. O-Powers cost energy to use, so right now I'm going to use... I don't really need any of these right now. I guess Capture Power would be the most helpful in theory. So when you use it on yourself, it is going to cost 4 power. When you give it to somebody else, it only costs 2. I'm going to use it on myself because who else am I going to use it on right now? This is going to keep ticking down, and by the time I actually have a chance to demonstrate what it does, it's already going to be done. But yeah, O-Powers cost energy, and it's measured by a gauge made up of 10 circles. Most cost 2, 3, 4, or 8 per use, but they cost less if you use them on others. And they can be used on friends using local wireless, or friends can tap your icon on the PSS while you're using one on yourself to also use it. Energy is restored simply by time passing. One circle is filled every 4 minutes, not every hour. That would be ridiculous. This can be increased each day, though, in a pretty simple way. You just need to get enough steps counted on your 3DS. You can do this the normal way. You know, by shaking your 3DS until you reach the number of steps you need, or by God forbid, walking. From 2001 to 3000 steps, it will take 3 minutes to fill a circle. At 3001 to 4000, it will take 2, and from 4001 or higher step counts, it will take only a single minute per circle. Essentially, this means every 10 minutes you can potentially use up to 5 O-Powers if you're using them at their weakest. This will rarely ever be necessary for anything ever, though. O-Powers also get upgrades if you use them frequently. After 15 uses of a level 1 O-Power, it is upgraded to level 2. After 30 uses of a level 2 O-Power, it's upgraded to level 3. There are also S and Max rank O-Powers. S rank O-Powers are unobtainable now. They were given out during special distribution periods at a Pokemon Center store. You'll have to hack to obtain these now. Max rank O-Powers can only be obtained through a method we can't access yet, so I'll touch on this again later. HP Restoring Power at level 1, which is the one at the second to the top, restores 20 HP to the first Pokemon in your party and costs 2 energy to use. All of the stat powers increase their associated stat by 1 stage during battle and cost 3 energy. And Capture Power increases the rate of a Pokemon by... Capture Power increases the catch rate of a Pokemon by 1.5 times at level 1, essentially turning your Pokeballs into Great Balls. This costs 4 energy to use. Assuming you only use O-Powers on other people, the minimum time required to upgrade all of your O-Powers to their maximum is 4 days, 5 hours, and 20 minutes. If you use them only on yourself, it will take 1 week, 18 hours, and 20 minutes. Basically, use O-Powers throughout your playthrough if you want to upgrade them. Even if you're just playing the game in a day to do various daily events, just use an O-Power even if you don't need it. That way you'll be working towards upgrades a lot faster. The favorites list. I have no idea what this is because it's not listed in Bulbapedia. You don't have anyone in your favorites list. Okay, so it's just people that you want to list as your favorite people. Cool. Well, at least it's self-explanatory. Moving on to the online stuff, starting with GameSync. It's not okay to begin connecting to the internet because it's not possible anymore. While this was still active, it could be set to happen automatically while saving when connected to the internet on the PSS if you'd registered your game to a Global Link account. Performing a game sync updated your recent activities, and Black 2 and White 2 fans rejoice, medals on your Global Link. It also transfers any items obtained in the Poké Mileage Club to your game. So what's the Poké Mileage Club? It was an online feature of the Pokemon Global Link where you could spend Pokémiles to purchase items, attractions where you could spend Pokémiles to win items by playing games, and occasional specials that offered exclusive items. That's a lot of items. The items you were able to purchase, as well as their prices, depended on how many medals you'd obtained. Medals were achievements that you could unlock using GameSync and check your progress on the Pokemon Global Link website. These were carried over from Black 2 and White 2 into X and Y, and they were retained in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire as well. Unfortunately, though, Black 2 and White 2 were the only games where your progress on medals was recorded in-game, so it's not possible to earn these anymore using Generation 6 games. Even if Nintendo hadn't taken away online play from the 3DS and Wii U, medals and the Poké Mileage Club were both removed from the Global Link when it was updated for Pokemon Sun and Moon in 2016. As a result of the Poké Mileage Club being defunct, I'm not going to be going into a lot of detail about it here. Maybe if I ever make videos about X and Y. Just know that in essence, GameSync is now a button that does nothing. The Global Trade Station was an extra space of Pokemon storage. Okay, in actuality, it was a place where you could search for Pokemon you wanted to trade for and trade if you had the Pokemon the other person was asking for. A lot of people use this to store a low-leveled Pokemon and ask for things like Arceus, and that's what I remember for the most part. I did use this a lot as a kid, but it's inaccessible now in Generation 6. This was the first generation where you could ask for Pokemon not registered in your Pokedex, though, which is funny. Wonder Trade! It allowed you to trade Pokemon for somebody else's without knowing what you were going to get. The answer? Usually something shiny with perfect IVs and a good EV spread that was generated into the game that had a website URL as its original trainer. And a lot of early game rats. The only thing that couldn't be traded were eggs and Pokemon with either the Classic or Premier ribbons, which were usually on them because they were event Pokemon. This feature was fun enough, but once again, it's no longer accessible in this game. The Battle Spot was where you went to battle online. You could compete in free or rating battles. This was split into the XY League and ORAS League to accommodate incompatibilities between Pokemon X and Y and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. The main notable thing here was online competitions, which were held by the Global Link. You had to register in advance and select a team placed in your PC's battle box, after which the team was locked and couldn't be changed for the duration of the tournament. Competitions typically lasted 3 days, though some lasted 4 or 5. You could only battle a set number of times each day during the competition, usually 10 to 15, and if you participated in a sufficient number of battles, you'd be rewarded with either 1,000 Pokémiles or 50 battle points. Occasionally, an event Pokemon or item was distributed instead. International challenges also allowed you to receive championship points to qualify for official VGC events, such as the Pokemon World Championships. Once again, you'll never believe this. This is no longer accessible since the servers for 3DS and Wii U have been shut down and Pokemon games aren't available on Pretendo publicly apart from testers yet. Even if you are a tester for Pretendo, while most PSS features work, the Battle Spot, GTS, and GameSync specifically do not. And yeah, that's pretty much everything for the PSS. It's a really, really neat system to put all these things in one place, and I'll never forgive Game Freak for how unacceptably bad every multiplayer hub they've introduced since has been. Yeah. On to the next thing. Pokemon Ami. Pokemon Ami was introduced in Pokemon X and Y and is an integral part of raising a stat that is completely invisible to you. Affection. This is separate from friendship. Become even better pals with your Pokemon. Pet your Pokemon and feed them snacks called Pokepuffs and you'll grow very close. A Pokemon that likes you will show its affection in many fun ways. Be sure to play with many different Pokemon. You can play these games with your Pokemon, Berry Picker, Headit, and Tile Puzzle. You may also want to try entertaining it by calling its name or making faces. Try many things and see what happens. Play together and earn Pokepuffs. Put Pokepuffs out and nearby Pokemon will come for a visit. Visiting Pokemon may give you decor items or Pokepuffs. Have fun using the decor items to decorate or change the wallpaper. So, we have Trico down there right now, which is not who I want down there for reasons we'll be getting into. Sleepy is fine. I don't want to do this with a main team member because, as mean as that sounds, we'll get into it. We're going to start by tapping on the Pokemon in the center and just pressing play. In this mode, you can interact with the Pokemon using the stylus and the 3DS camera. I tapped on it to get its attention. You can only do this with a Pokemon that isn't afflicted by a status condition or fainted. Hello. Good puppy. Oh, I do absolutely adore the fact that they let you pet your Pokemon. I just wish it was a little less, like, broken. There are certain parts that your Pokemon like to be pet more, and less, so if I had to guess for Poochyena, I would say the ears are where it doesn't like to, and then I guess the scruff under its neck is where it does. So that works out well. Yeah. There are some major play interactions and some minor ones. Major ones include petting the Pokemon to raise affection and lower enjoyment. We can also feed it Pokepuffs, which raises affection and fullness. Playing a minigame lowers its fullness and gives you more Pokepuffs. Playing the special game Making Faces raises affection and lowers fullness. Playing any game also raises enjoyment. And the only Pokemon incapable of eating Pokepuffs are Metapod, Kakuna, Pineco, Silcoon, Cascoon, Shedinja, and Spupa. Pokepuffs are easily the fastest way to increase affection, so good luck if you're using a Shedinja on your team and actually want to do this. Eat up. You gotta eat more. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, man. That's still not enough. You need to eat more. Nope, we're still not done. There's still more for you to eat. Eventually, you'll see a Pokemon has less interest in eating, and at that point, they are full. That was a lot of Pokepuffs before it started getting, like, less interested, though. Yeah, once it starts turning its head away, it no longer wants to eat. Which I guess makes sense. Minor ones include talking to your Pokemon, though any noise loud enough to be picked up by the 3DS microphone triggers this, which, yeah, raises their enjoyment. Poochyena loves Let's Players, frankly. Rapidly tapping the same place on a Pokemon causes you to hit the Pokemon and lower their enjoyment, you absolute dick. If a Pokemon has at least 5 points of affection and you press the stylus away from the Pokemon's body for 5 seconds... I guess this isn't really going to work with Poochyena, is it? He doesn't have hands. well, for Pokemon that do have hands, or tails for some Pokemon, etc., they'll go in for a high five. The list of Pokemon that can do this is ridiculous, and changes between X and Y in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, so yeah, Poochyena probably actually just can't. So I'd look it up myself, but just know that your first partner Pokemon, most mythicals, and some legendary Pokemon are the main ones able to do high fives. The Pokemon's enjoyment goes up if you succeed. As I said, every Pokemon has places where it likes to be pet and places where it dislikes it. Until the Pokemon has more than 0 affection, even these spots are treated as neutral. Afterwards, petting generally increases affection, but not if it's pet in a place it doesn't like. Touching some Pokemon in certain spots also causes special effects to the cursor. Some are aesthetic only and act like natural petting, whereas neutral petting, not natural, all petting is natural, whereas others, like petting Pikachu's cheeks, completely interrupt you. Which was retconned in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and then I think brought back in Sword and Shield. If a Pokemon is huge and takes up both screens, like Giratina, for example, you can pet them by either feeding them a Pokepuff or holding the stylus against the top edge of the touchscreen for about a second. As I said before, well, as the game said before, there are also mini-games. We can play Berry Picker, Head It, and Tile Puzzle. Each one has 4 difficulties, and you unlock the next one by beating the previous difficulty with 3 or more stars. None of them are overly complicated, and I don't think you need me to explain them in these notes, is what my notes say, so let's just play them. Pick berries for your Pokemon. Pretty self-explanatory. You just drag the berry that your Pokemon wants to the Pokemon. You need at least 3 Pokemon in your party to be playing these, and, yeah. As I said, there's really not a lot to these. Most of these just boil down to tap the screen at the right time or drag the thing to the right place. So I'll cut ahead to when I've cleared every rank of this. Ooh, I actually missed one there. It gets harder as it progresses, so that's nice at least. Okay. What was my score? 31 berries. Geez, only 4.5? Okay, this is harder than I thought, apparently. It is largely reaction time based, so I guess that's not all too surprising. We earned Pokepuffs for that, so that's nice. My hands are so big that I can't see what the Pokemon want half the time. 28 berries that time. Doing worse, but that's okay. I'm a berry semi-pro, so who cares? Gonna put that in my Bluesky bio. Okay, this actually does get quite hard. God. Yeah, you need to, like, memorize where each of these berries are placed on the tree if you want to be able to actually get the Pokemon the berries they want before they decide they don't want them anymore, because they're fickle bastards. So, gee, that was rough. That was not a very good performance. Oh, still 24. Could have been worse. I'm a berry pro now. Look at that. Pokepuffs received. You can see we're also getting some more complex Pokepuffs, so that's a good sign, isn't it? After completing the first 3 difficulties, you unlock Unlimited. This basically just plays for longer and longer until eventually you fail enough times. Yeah. So each of these has 4 difficulties, and you unlock the next by beating the previous difficulty with 3 or more stars. Yeah. In general, you get basic Pokepuffs for clearing easy games, frosted ones for normal games, and fancy ones for hard games. You get deluxe ones for games. Unlimited games. But no games. The better you score, the more puffs you receive, and the highest scores also award some higher quality puffs. I'm going to be trying Unlimited one time for this, and then I'll move on to the other games, because I feel the need to showcase all of them. Missed 3 times, and it's game over. This isn't going to last very long. Alright, took me a while, let's see, because that score seemed pretty good to me. Really? I'm a berry elite now. I didn't feel like I did that good. Okay. Unlimited was a lot easier than hard. Next game. Head it. Tap Pokemon and knock back the balls of yarn. Ready? Start. Yeah, I think you can tell. These are really just like... I was gonna say Mario Party minigames, but not even that. These are kind of just like the Super Mario 64 DS minigames. They're extremely easy, and the rewards you get for them are honestly way better than they deserve to be. I can get behind this one. This is way easier. Nailed it. Big yarn bonus is 50 extra points. I am a header amateur. It's not wrong. Well, actually, yes it is. You should see my Inazuma 11 Let's Play. I did so many headers that I decided I needed to stop doing headers. Absolutely crushed my last score. I think I missed one. Oh, I missed the big yarn. Well, it happens. I'm still a header semi-pro, even in normal difficulty. Hard! Oh, there's no more star. Uh-oh. Damn. Missed the big yarn again, too. That was pretty awful. I don't think that's even gonna get me, like, to the next rank. Never mind. Yes, it is. I forgot this game is made for babies. Unlimited head it. Please tell me it's just unlimited medium difficulty again, because that would be so easy. Missed 3 balls of yarn and it's game over. Nope, the star icon is still gone. That's pretty mean. Yeah, that was horrible. But apparently I'm still a header elite. That seems like a bug. Yeah, okay. That was much better. Much better. Okay, I'll take that. That's good enough for me. That brings us to our final normal minigame, Tile Puzzle. That bodes well. I'm terrible at these. Tap tiles to swap their position and complete the picture. Okay, well, here goes this. There we go. 27 seconds. Not too bad. Better than I expected of myself, honestly. I'll take it. On to normal. As you'd expect, the main difference is that there's just more tiles. A lot more. 1 minute and 6 seconds is not good enough to get to the next rank. I might not be able to actually get to the next rank with this one, honestly. I'll do my best, but I am genuinely terrible at these. 55 seconds. Please. Oh, just barely enough. Okay. Good. There was no way in hell I was getting any better than that. My main strategy was just to look for the borders first, which helped a little, but not much. The fact that the picture is moving genuinely makes it, like, really hard. And I'm definitely not doing this anywhere near fast enough to get to unlimited. 1 star. Yeah, I'm definitely not getting unlimited rank in this one. I'm sorry. I'm not subjecting myself to more of this. I do not like tile puzzles. It's not fun, especially when it's a moving picture. But enjoy your Magnemite cameo, Magnemite fans. After that, we have a lot of Pokepuffs of a variety of flavors. Which is really good, because as I said, these are easily the best way to increase a Pokemon's affection. Eat up. Yeah, as you can see, 4 hearts for that. We'll go into the specifics on those, like what each amount of hearts means soon, but 4 is pretty good. 5 is the max you can get from any one thing. Well, no, it's not, I guess. Because that did not deserve 5. I'm basically just looking for the most, like, aesthetically pleasing ones to give to Poochyena right now. Because I'm fine with Sleepy having high affection. That sounds kind of cute, honestly. I like Poochyena a lot. I wish it was better. Alright. I've increased her affection as much as I can through eating right now. The last minigame, which isn't like the other ones, is just on the normal Pokémon screen. When the smiley face appears in the bottom left corner, you need to make a face or tilt your head 3 times. To win, just match the Pokemon's requested face 5 times, and it will raise their affection by a lot. I'm doing it. Okay, clearly Poochyena does not know what a medium smile looks like, because I'm doing my absolute best here. I give up. I'm going to be honest. It's not worth the affection bonus when this isn't even a Pokemon I'm going to be using, but yeah, if you manage to actually successfully get the game to register what your face is and what it is doing, this is a good way to raise a Pokemon's affection by a lot. You just want to make sure you're in a well-lit room with your glasses off, your face out of your hair, the 3DS at least a foot away, and making sure the camera is clean and your face in the camera with your face slightly upwards from your natural inclination to face the lower screen, etc. It's not worth it. Sorry. Anyway, we're going to return Sleepy to her Pokeball for now. So we can go into the menu. Oh, we got some stuff. Cool, we can explore that in a minute. Going to the Switch menu, you can see Sleepy's stats. She has 1 heart of affection, and she is very full on food and enjoyment. The stats in Pokemon Me exist solely to interact with affection. Higher fullness and enjoyment lead to more affection, but the limit is 255 points for all 3 of them. There's 5 levels. At 1 point, you reach level 1, 50 for level 2, 100 for level 3, 150 for level 4, and 255 for level 5. When you tap on the active Pokemon in Pokemon Me, which I will do in a moment, you can also choose to decorate the Pokemon Me space. In this mode, you can change the wallpaper, so any of these ones that it comes with. I'm going to go with the chic wallpaper that we just found, though, because of course I am. It looks like a medieval castle or something. It's kind of neat. I like it. And you can also set up to 30 decor items. These are the ones we start with, and then we also got this pink cube for playing with Sleepy. So we'll put that around. And the sky blue cloud table can go in the center. And what else do I have? I have a leaf. That can just go up here, I guess, and a cloud. Oh, wait, these are cushions, so actually, I guess it makes sense to just put these around the table, doesn't it? There we go. And then we also have more cushions, so those can also go around the table. That makes sense to me. And then just some other ones out in the middle of nowhere. That makes sense. Pink star cloud, that seems Kirby-esque. That doesn't belong here. We'll get to Pokepuffs in a second. Okay, we already have everything out, never mind. So we'll get to Pokepuffs now. We're going to set a Pokepuff out to entice visitors to stop by to leave gifts. So, okay. That did not go the way I expected it to go on top of the table. I guess it just didn't feel like it. Okay. Sure. Whatever you say, game. That's good. So we left a Pokepuff out. Now, yeah, so if you set out a Pokepuff, it'll entice visitors to stop by and leave gifts. Visitors are Pokemon that come from passersby, acquaintances, or friends to see your Pokemon. If they stay, they and your Pokemon have a discussion for about 30 seconds, and then they leave a gift. Honestly, I wonder if I could make that happen using my other 3DS. Because I do have Alpha Sapphire on that. Do I want to go through all the trouble of, like, street passing? And... No, it shouldn't be that hard. Ooh, look at that. There was a Pikachu. There it is again. Winter's Pikachu. That is a Pikachu from Robin, who used to be Winter, and it's all complicated. But, yeah, this is from a playthrough that Robin did of Pokemon Alpha Sapphire quite a while ago, so... any Pokemon that happen to pass by are hers. But, yeah. That's pretty neat. We could also demonstrate battling and training there, I guess, but I'd be absolutely curb-stomped by the Pokemon on her team. Yeah. So, decor items and wallpapers are received by unlocking a new difficulty for a minigame, earning 5 stars on a minigame after reaching 25, 50, 75, 100, 150, and 255 points of affection on a Pokemon, or after a group of visitors stop by in the Pokémon-Ami space. Minigame gifts don't stack. If you unlock 2 difficulties in a row, or get 5 stars on any 2 games, or get 5 stars on a game that unlocks the next difficulty, you still only get 1 gift, which is why we only got 1 gift, despite having done all of those minigames all in a row. Easily the fastest way to increase a Pokemon's affection is to feed it Pokepuffs, especially deluxe ones. The strongest are Supreme Wish and Supreme Honor Pokepuffs, which you get from visitors by playing on your birthday or after entering the Hall of Fame respectively. These raise affection by a whopping 10 points, and since fullness goes back down to 0 every few times you win a minigame in Pokémon-Ami, you can basically grind a Pokemon to max affection extremely easily by feeding it some Pokepuffs, playing an easy minigame 3 times, then feeding more Pokepuffs and repeating. Even just using normal deluxe or frosted Pokepuffs, it doesn't take very long to get a Pokemon's affection to max. So why haven't I been using Trico for this? Well, let's see what affection gets you. At just level 2 of affection, your Pokemon gains 1.2 times more experience from battles. This isn't a big deal, and I may even get Trico up to this on my own time. It's a good benefit for not a lot of work. But at level 3, your Pokemon holds a focus band without holding a focus band. It has a chance to survive a hit that would otherwise make it faint with 1 HP, including confusion damage. It can also activate multiple times in a single turn, making it objectively better than a focus band. At level 2, your Pokemon can sometimes avoid attacks, including those that are 100% accurate. This can activate multiple times in a turn. It can also occasionally shake off status conditions at the end of every turn in battle. And lastly, at level 5, your Pokemon is more likely to land critical hits. While these boosts do, luckily for the VGC scene, only apply to single player, this sort of just makes your Pokemon extremely overpowered, and this game is already pretty easy. It's just overkill to go beyond level 2 of affection on Pokemon that you actually plan to use on your team, and that's why I'm barely going to be engaging with this at all in this Let's Play. The last thing on the play nav is Super Training. This is the Super Training Machine, which we also call ST. Nobody calls it that. ST lets you train your Pokemon anytime, no matter where you are. Super Training is a virtual sports game where your Pokemon faces off against balloon bots. To toughen up your Pokemon, dodge the balls launched by the balloon bots while shooting your own into the goals they put out. In the core training, your Pokemon hits a training bag to get stronger. Now you can train your Pokemon while you're exploring. The result of the training will vary by the training bag you use. Gotta try 'em all. Welcome to ST. Do some special training to bring out your Pokemon's best. as fully trained Pokémon. Let's start with the button in the lower left corner, the Super Training button. Okay. It's time for some special training for your Pokémon. Yes, it's time to experience Super Training. Tap the button in the middle of your lower screen to start your Super Training. Alright. This will increase defense EVs by 4. Get your feet wet. Learn the ins and outs of a Super Training regimen by hitting goals that appear in front of the balloon bot. I don't know if I want defense EVs on Trico, but whatever. Sure. It doesn't matter too much. Practice against Scatterbug. Scatterbug Balloon. Manuka. So, can you see that right in front of you? That giant right there is a balloon bot. Secrets to Super Training success. Hit those goals before you hit. Use the circle pad on your Nintendo 3DS to move your Pokemon around the virtual space. Tap and drag on the lower screen to both aim and shoot a special ball at the goal. Aim for the white goals that appear in front of the balloon bots and shoot like mad. Good luck. Time to work out. Yeah, so this is like Kid Icarus Uprising if it was not as good. You just want to aim for the goals, which luckily appear to just be appearing in the same place only on this Scatterbug, so it's just tapping the same place over and over again. This increases our defense EVs by 4 points. Yeah. Manuka made it easier to store up energy by training its defense stat. You did it! That's the spirit! Your Pokemon is definitely stronger than it was before, thanks to all that hard work. Good hustle. That was a fine workout. By clearing a Super Training regimen, you'll raise your Pokemon's base stats and make it even stronger than before. And we also received a Strength Bag. You faced the challenge of a Super Training regimen and got a reward in return. Clearing Super Training regimens will sometimes award you training bags. Use those training bags in your core training to raise your Pokemon's base stats. Don't slow down. Keep on training to make it a fully trained Pokemon. Use the training bags you received to train your Pokemon in core training. Let's do some work on the training bag. Tap that button in the lower right corner. Pick a training bag from the list on the left and tap on it. Well, we only have the strength bag. Successful shots award more points in the Pokemon's next Super Training regimen. Okay. That's right, this here is a training bag. Use it with your Pokemon to train them up. Keep on tapping the screen till you knock the stuffing out of it. Something good will happen. If you leave your Pokemon to train on its own, it will hit the bag once a minute. Strength is power! That's it, the muscles that will make the future bright! Manuka's shots will get more points the next time it does Super Training. And now he's just hitting a worthless punching bag. Nice. So we meet again. Welcome to Super Training. Since you've already sampled Super Training in the first Super Training tutorial, I prepared a little challenge. Clear this to graduate from being a beginner. You'll be ready for the big leagues. Great hustle out there. You're all done. With that performance, you unlocked a new Super Training regimen. Get Spupa with an energy shot was unlocked. Alright, let's get Spupa with an energy shot. Get Spupa with an energy shot. I've been saying this. Spupa Balloon. Manuka. Hey champ, we've been waiting for you. This time I'll teach you about a secret special way to shoot in your Super Training regimens. Secrets to Super Training success. Energy shots for the win, baby. Get 'em. You see that round meter down low in the middle of your Nintendo 3DS system's upper screen? That special meter shows how much energy your Pokemon has. It's oomph. When you're full of that energy, the shots you let loose transform into energy shots. Energy shots will vary by Pokemon, and they'll even look different when you see them. They're the way to really win. Good luck. Time to work out. So, we want to just shoot into the goals. Jeez, Manuka. So much for energy shots. Who needs them? Okay. Another 4 points in our base defense. Cool. We also got a defense bag S. For completing the tutorial, great hustle out there, you're all done. With that performance, you unlock new super training regiments. Hone special attack with Magnemite, and 5 other special regiments were unlocked. Yeah, so now we can actually properly go over this. The main super training screen here is called Core Training. Here you use training bags to boost a Pokemon's growth. You get training bags by participating in regimens or by tapping the empty training bag on the screen, which I guess I can demonstrate. I don't want to do Pokemonomy. I already did that today. I've had enough Pokemonomy in my life. There we go. For hitting it enough times, we found a Speed Bag M. That's really good for this point. That's level 2 for that particular bag. Yeah. Occasionally, a Pokemon will take a rest, which happens when their sprite is lying sideways with an ellipses above their head. And in this instance, they will refuse to participate in super training or accept a new bag. I got another strength bag. Cool. Oh. I found a special attack bag S. Apparently you find these more often than I thought, because I thought this was going to take a lot longer, but we've already gotten 3 just from doing this. Yeah. As the tutorial said before, Pokemon also hit the training bag automatically once per minute, and they'll occasionally find training bags on their own by doing that. So, yeah. Wow, another one. That's another medium one, HP bag M. Jeez. Okay. This is easy. Cool. So, small, medium, and large training bags raise their associated stat by 1, 4, and 12 EVs respectively. Yeah, this is a fast, free way to EV train your Pokemon before the first gym, by the way. Azurill, Marill, and Azumarill bags raise HP. Machop, Machoke, and Machamp raise attack. Aron, Lairon, and Aggron raise defense. Litwick, Lampent, and Chandelure raise special attack. Flabebe, Floette, and Florges raise special defense. And Zubat, Golbat, and Crobat raise speed. There are also 8 special bags that have different effects. Big Shot bags are not a Deltarune reference. They increase the size of the Pokemon shots in the next actual super training regimen. Double Up bags increase the EV yield in the next regimen. Reset bags reset all of a Pokemon's EVs in case you want to start from scratch, which I'm going to want to with Trico, but we'll get there later. We don't need to worry about it right now. Soothing bags increase a Pokemon's friendship by 20 points. Strength bags double the number of points earned per shot in the next regimen. Swiftness bags increase your speed in the next regimen. Team Flare bags reduce the number of strikes required to break another bag by half. And Toughen Up bags reduce the number of points lost per hit in the next super training regimen. You can see the Zigzagoon with an eye is just raring to go, so figured I'd let him punch this a little bit. I found an attack bag S. Nice. Can you find more, buddy? Yes, that is a defense bag L. Yeah, I thought so. Oh, another one. An HP bag L. I'm not gonna pretend I know why they made the HP bags be based on the Marill line instead of the Chansey line. Oh, defense bag M. You can see just how many bags I'm getting for free without even playing the main part of the mode, including large ones right now, because that's a speed bag L. Yeah, they gave you a way to easily EV train your Pokemon before Gym 1. Because what aren't they giving you before Gym 1 in this particular game? So, do you see up in the top right corner, the soccer ball that is speeding in the corner? That is Trico's attack type. The types of shots that Pokemon take depend on their species and their stats. Black shots, like those that Zigzagoon has, are average in all ways. Yellow fires multiple shots in succession after charging with a smaller shot size and lower power. Guts shots also don't use as much of the Guts meter. Orange has the largest shot size, but the second lowest power, so Poochyena would fall into that category. Green has the slowest shot speed, a larger shot size, the highest max power, and gut shots decrease the guts meter more than other types of shots. And blue has a higher shot speed, smaller shot size, the second highest max power, and the same penalty to the guts meter. That would be Trico's. A Pokemon's HP increases shot size and reduces point loss when hit by an attack. Attack and special attack increase the power of your Pokemon's shots. Defense and special defense fill the guts meter faster and allow your Pokemon to block for later. Speed increases your Pokemon's shot and movement speed. So yeah, your stats matter in Super Training as well. There are 3 levels for each stat, and when I say that, of course, I mean these. And you unlock the next one up once you've beaten all 6 of the most recent stages. The rewards are what you'd expect. 4 EVs for level 1, 8 for level 2, and 12 for level 3. Back to core training again, though. There is also the effortometer, which is the official name of the graph there, which displays a Pokemon's stats. The inner part of the graph shows stat levels related to the Pokemon's base stats dictated by their species, and the yellow portion shows EVs gained through Super Training. A vertical meter to the right also shows the Pokemon's cumulative training progress across all stats. When it's maxed out, the Pokemon is called fully trained, and a buff man icon appears to the left of its name. This means the Pokemon now qualifies for secret Super Training regimens, which we'll get to within this Let's Play probably, but we're just going to go over them now, even if I'm not actively going to Super Train a Pokemon to that level, because it would be overkill at this point. Most secret Super Training regimens involve circuit training, facing multiple balloon bots in a secret sequence with the timer extending by 30 seconds between each. Unlike in regular Super Training, each secret Super Training regimen is unlocked in sequence one after the other. In secret Super Training, if you achieve the target time, you also receive an item as a reward along with a training bag. The more you beat the target time by, the more likely you are to receive a rare item, and I mean a rare item. Beating the level 5 and 6 secret regimens is one of the only ways to consistently get evolutionary stones in Hoenn, including a Dawn Stone if you were interested in using a Glade. This is one of your very few options if you wanted one before near the end of the main story. A total of 1 secret Super Training regimen is version exclusive, called the Battle for the Best or the Battle for the Best version X or version Y in Pokemon X and Y. In X and Alpha Sapphire, why can't I say that? In X and Alpha Sapphire, you'll face the Larvitar line, including Mega Tyranitar. In Y and Omega Ruby, you'll face the Aeron line, including Mega Aggron. If you achieve the target time in all Super Training and Secret Super Training regimens, a Pokemon is considered supremely trained, indicated by an even buffer man icon with stars to the left of its name. Supremely trained Pokemon are eligible to receive a ribbon later on in the adventure, and while ribbons don't actually do anything at this point in the series other than show what you've accomplished with a Pokemon, I still think they're really neat. And that's about it. The play nav is basically just an excuse for them to shove all this stuff from X and Y into this game. I don't think there's much reason to complain about getting early optional access to EV training or anything, or early access to the overpowered affection stat. It's all up to you how much you want to use these in your playthrough. I know I'll be taking advantage of Super Training myself, though I probably won't be showing everything I do with it in the Let's Play. I just like the idea of being able to actually properly EV train a team in a Let's Play. Anyway, it's not often I hit 20 pages in my notes before finishing them for 3 videos. In fact, it's never. This is the first time. What have I gotten myself into? Next time, we're going to be taking Dad's advice and starting our journey to Rustboro City on Route 104. We're headed for our first gym battle. See you guys then.